So we're currently at Busl Cider here in Mallorytown, Ontario, between Brockville and Gananoque in the Thousand Islands region.
And can you tell me a little bit about the cidery itself right now?
Absolutely. So Busl Cider is a new cider company in the area. We're one of the only ones between Prince Edward County and Ottawa for the most part, as far as we know. We're a family-owned and operated business, and we've got a beautiful, spectacular property here with a 10-acre orchard. We have 5 different ciders that we feature here. 2 of our ciders are quite unique. One of them is the blueberry and beet cider, as well as the Hascat berry cider.
Excellent. And you're relatively new. Tell us how everything has gone, because you sort of have a cold launch or soft launch last week, and your grand opening's not for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's been quite interesting being in this business. We were supposed to open June 1st. We were ready to go to find out, though, that our license would not be approved for June 1st. So that kind of, slowed things down. So we had to get creative. So we started making non-alcoholic ciders to start. We started offering tours on weekends just to get people to come see the property and see what we're all about. And a week ago, last Saturday, we finally got our license, and we're now selling cider. We also had a couple other things that sort of were difficult to deal with. We've had to sort of fend for ourselves and learn how to make cider. We were working with someone that was helping us with recipes, but unfortunately they were quite busy with other projects, and we were stuck just having to learn how to make cider ourselves. So it's been quite an interesting experience, and we're learning quickly, and it's been fun overall.
So where did the idea come from? It sounds as though you're not necessarily the cider makers, which we get often from other places where people have done that. I'm assuming you come from a different angle. What would that be?
Yeah, so my background is sustainable energy engineering. I went to school here at St. Lawrence College in Kingston, and then took a bridging program actually in Europe. I studied in Ireland. So this whole thing sort of started, I had been to a microbrewery, and I really enjoyed the concept. I thought it was quite interesting. I liked the taste of craft beer compared to a lot of mainstream beers. My dad had this 300-acre property an hour from Ottawa, a property that we were doing not a lot with. My dad had bought the property initially for hunting, and that was, about it. So I said, Dad, it'd be interesting to make beer. So we talked about that for a while, and he thought I was crazy. In the meantime, I was, making, brewing at home, making different beers. And then I started getting interested in making cider, just to be a little bit different and try something new. So I started homebrewing different ciders. And then when I was in Ireland, actually, I was visiting a lot of cideries and also even homebrewing in Ireland, because cider is pretty established in Ireland. And then one thing led to another. My dad was retiring. We started homebrewing cider as a family, and we just decided to take on this project and do something interesting that we could be proud of.
So when was the start of that idea to go, and how long ago was that to now that you're essentially ready to do a grand opening?
Yeah, so initially I had pitched the idea to my dad about 6 years ago. And we started construction on the building that we see beside us here about 3 years ago, and then more aggressively about 1.5 years ago. So what you see here is actually a barn from the 1800s. You'll see a silo in the front of the property there. But the barn had kind of been torn apart, so we essentially just rebuilt everything on the same footprint as what you see here. We even preserved one of the root cellars here as well. So it's, yeah.
And you do production on site. Where do you get your apples from, and how does that work?
Yeah, so we do produce our ciders on site here at Busl. Our apples come from a couple different places. Our apples come from Waterloo. We get a really nice blend of apples that we like to make nice ciders. The blend is Ambrosia, Northern Spy, and Cortland. And we also get ciders from local producers just here about 10 minutes away in Brockville from Hall's Apples. So, yeah.
And then you've got a pretty unique offering right right now you have 5 that you're looking for the 2019 season. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we've got 5 different ciders. We've got your premium apple cider, which is quite standard. We've also got the pear cider, cherry, and then the 2 last ones are probably the most interesting and unique to our cidery, and that's the blueberry and beet cider, as well as the Haskap berry cider. So for those who don't know about Haskap berries, they're a superfruit that originates from Siberia. It's a lot like a blueberry, sort of mixed with a raspberry in terms of flavor. It's high in antioxidants, and it really does make a nice cider. And as far as we know, there's no one else making a cider like this in the world. I could be mistaken, but it's quite unique as far as we know.
We'll talk about it off. I think we found 1 or 2 one-offs before, but
Okay.
nothing as a mainstay for it. Is there a reason why you're just looking for something unique and neat that you had some access to, or have you sort of said, oh, you know what, I've tried that in different ways, maybe this would be a good fit there?
Yeah, so we do see a trend of people moving towards healthy food and drink options. So that's where the blueberry and beet sort of comes in. Also, it's different. There's a lot of people making, typical ciders. We wanted to do something a bit more innovative, a bit more creative and fun. And that's also healthy, right? And then the Haskap berry cider, we planted those a while back. And, it's a healthy, option. And it also makes a really nice cider as well. So, yeah.
You did mention that you obviously had troubles with the licensing. What else has been something big that you've had a chance to overcome, or you're still challenged with?
Yeah, some of the challenges are just with production. Making cider really comes down to a science. We've also had equipment struggles as well. We've had some technical issues. We had bought a brand new chiller that we use to chill our tanks. And unfortunately, our chiller had broken down right before bottling. So we had to bring in an emergency chiller from far away. And that took a long time. That delayed us even more. So, equipment has been a bit of an issue as well, along with the red tape.
And what are you looking forward going into this next sort of harvest season and beyond for the organization?
Yeah, we're just hoping to continue and make great cider. We also want to do some experimental ciders as well. We will be working on a chocolate cider. We're going to be taking cocoa beans and throwing that in the tank. So we're looking forward to just producing some interesting ciders that hopefully everyone can enjoy.
And if people want to come visit you or get more information, where do they go?
Yeah, they can visit our website, and that is buslcider.com. And that's spelled BUSL cider.com, or they can visit us on Facebook. It's just BUSL Cider on Facebook.
Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys.